the world.
You can stand in my house. I'm the short one in my house. Anyway, I'm pleased to introduce Tony Gorder. Tony works for Public Affairs Company, that's the name of the company in Minneapolis, and they do issue advocacy for a lot of different organizations. And today he's going to talk on behalf of the Alzheimer's Association. He's from Canby, Minnesota, and graduated from the South Dakota State University, sorry, with a bachelor's degrees in political science and journalism. So, Tony?
Thank you. And like Joan said, I'm here to talk to you about Alzheimer's disease. Now, I'm speaking on behalf of the Alzheimer's Association, and that's the Minnesota, North Dakota chapter. And we're talking about our Prepare Minnesota for 2020 campaign. It's a statewide initiative, and it's founded on the belief that Minnesota can and must take action to reduce the impact of Alzheimer's disease, eliminate stigmas surrounding the disease, and improve the care and quality of life for those touched by the disease. And it's the largest health crisis facing the state of Minnesota, and we really want to get awareness out to communities, and that's why I've been speaking to community organizations like Rotary, such as yourself. And we want early identification for the disease, easy access to information, training for families, and just really engaging the community. And that's what the kind of portion I'm doing, engaging folks like yourselves. And so, just to talk about some signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's, you know, it's the #1 form of dementia. There's several different kinds of dementia, and Alzheimer's is the most common. It accounts for 60 to 80% of all dementia cases. Now, there are 10 warning signs for Alzheimer's disease. I'll go over those briefly. They all are very similar, but most people are aware of memory loss. But when we talk about memory loss, we're not just talking about you know, forgetting something and then maybe remembering it later, you know, stuff like that. That's normal. Everyone does that, no matter what age. Some people think, you know, some people do believe as they age they are less sharp. But when we talk about memory loss, we're talking about very serious, severe memory loss that disrupts daily life. And that's with any of these symptoms, it's that disrupts your daily life in a way that just makes things very difficult. And so another symptom is changes in planning and solving problems. Again, what's the typical age-related mistake or age-related change? Making an occasional error while balancing a checkbook. That's normal, but when it really disrupts daily life, when you can't keep track of monthly bills, you know, stuff like that. So another warning sign is difficulty completing a familiar task at home or work, confusion with time or place, trouble understanding visual images or spatial relationships, new problems with words and speaking or writing, not being able to speak or write words, misplacing things or losing the ability to retrace steps, and but in a way that affects your daily life, not just losing your, you know, not being able to find your car keys once in a while. That's normal. So, decreased or poor judgment, withdrawal from work or social activities, and changes in mood or personality, really just very much a radical change of behavior from what would be normal. And I know, like I said, it sounds like some of these you may feel like you've experienced already, everyone does, but it has to be, you know, to the point where there's a problem. And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of myths and stigmas surrounding Alzheimer's disease, and so one thing we really wanted to address, the Alzheimer's Association wants to address, is some of those myths and stigmas, just to kind of clear those up. And one of those is that memory loss is a natural part of aging. Now, like I said before, people do feel that they are less sharp as they age. They do feel that they may have maybe a little more trouble than they did when they were younger. But the reality is that memory loss is not, severe memory loss is not a normal part of aging. It's not a natural aging symptom of natural age-related decline. It's a symptom of a serious illness. So, and science is kind of, experts are not quite sure whether memory loss truly does go as you age. Like I said, some people believe, they aren't as sharp, but when you are forgetting things that disrupt your life, that is a symptom of something more, and you should get checked out. Another myth is that only older people get Alzheimer's. This is not true. Alzheimer's can affect people as young as their 30s, 40s, or 50s. This is called younger onset Alzheimer's. And it's estimated that, well, total Alzheimer's nationwide is 5.4 million people, and 5.2 million of those people are over the age of 65. So obviously, it's a small portion that is younger than 65, but we just want to make people aware that it can affect those younger. Another myth. This one, how many people had heard this myth that flu shots, dental fillings, aluminum, aspartame can cause Alzheimer's? Had anyone heard that? Okay, that is not true. I had not heard that. I kind of like to see how many people had heard it. If you hadn't heard that, forget about it. Don't take that in. That is not true. There's no science to back that up. It's just kind of one of those myths that is out there for some reason. So don't worry about that. And another very unfortunate myth is that Alzheimer's disease is not fatal. Alzheimer's disease has no survivors. It destroys brain cells. It causes memory changes, erratic behaviors, loss of bodily functions, and it slowly and painfully takes away a person's identity, their ability to connect with others, the way they think, the way they talk, their ability to eat. It's a serious disease, and it is always fatal, unfortunately. And on top of that, it cannot be stopped. There's no cure for Alzheimer's disease at the moment. People are always looking for a cure. There's clinical trials going on, but right now there is no cure. There's treatment that will slow the progression of Alzheimer's, and the sooner it's caught, the better chance you have at slowing it down. But there is no cure. So why am I talking to you about Alzheimer's now? Why is this an issue now? Well, as I said, 5.4 million folks have Alzheimer's nationwide. $183 billion is spent on Alzheimer's annually. That's an enormous number. And there are nearly 15 million unpaid caregivers. A lot of situations with Alzheimer's, it is a family member, it is a spouse, it's a loved one taking care of the person suffering from Alzheimer's. That's what we see a lot, and they go unpaid. Many of them working, full-time themselves, at a job as well as taking care of their loved ones. And so when we talk about raising awareness about Alzheimer's and, talking about getting, taking care of those touched by the disease, we're talking about people suffering from Alzheimer's as well as the caregivers, because they devote a lot of their time, a lot of their lives, and oftentimes it is very, very hard on them. So there are 100,000 Minnesotans right now that are suffering from Alzheimer's. Now remember that number, that's going to come up again. And it's estimated by 2050 there'll be 219,000 Minnesotans. So it's going to more than double in that amount of time. And that's why it is the largest public health crisis facing the state. And Minnesota, it's our belief that Minnesota has to take action. So what can you do? It's very simple. This is kind of a first portion of our kind of just getting people aware and thinking about Alzheimer's personally and in their communities. And it's called the Promise. And you'll notice I passed out a few sheets onto your tables. Each table should have one. If I missed it, you can talk to me afterwards. But in May of 2009, the Minnesota State Legislature created the Alzheimer's Disease Working Group. And that was under the supervision of the Minnesota Board of Aging. And it consisted of members from the Board of Aging and was led collaboratively with the Board of Aging and the Alzheimer's Association of Minnesota. And so they spent 18 months examining the needs of individuals diagnosed, what services were available, what services we needed, and what the state and what communities could do to help out those touched by Alzheimer's. So the study came out, and as a result of that study, a component is the Promise campaign that I'm here to talk to you about. And it's 3 steps: learn, share, and prepare. Now, you've already done about 1/3 of it by listening to me. You're learning, so that's good. And you can learn more. We've got our resources on the web. I would definitely suggest the Alzheimer's Association website. There's lots of information on there, lots and lots of it. And so just any question you have, I would almost guarantee it's on there. So, but the next part, share. What can you do to share? Well, just talk to your family and friends just about what I told you today, some of the few of the facts and statistics, and just that it is a very serious disease that more and more people are getting. You know, we've got and it's not that more people are getting it, it's that we've got an aging population. Baby boomers, people are living longer, so that's the reason for that huge increase. So share with your friends, share with your family. Social networks are a great way. You know, write a letter. If you know someone affected by the disease, if maybe you're taking care of someone, really just put that information out there. And you can always contact your representatives, tell them it's an issue for you. But prepare. This one, you know, we're really getting in, like I said, just making people aware. You know, at a community level, you can, you know, always urge your elected officials to do what they can, but, you know, more on the community level, you can, you know, start a support group in your community. Like I said, not only for those suffering from Alzheimer's, but from those who are caretakers, caregivers. They need a lot of support. You know, they're taking care of a loved one who is suffering, so they too are, you know, it's very hard for them. And preparing on a personal level, early identification, definitely very important. If you feel you're, you know, having any of the symptoms I described on a, you know, very serious level, definitely get checked out, even if you're not over the age of 65. Those over the age of 65, definitely just go in and just get checked. You can always volunteer. We have a walk to end Alzheimer's. That's a great way to donate, things like that. But, and you can always sign up as an advocate. But just, you know, spread the word that this is a serious issue. It's affecting the state of Minnesota. It's going to grow rapidly, and just we need to be aware, first of all, before we can move forward. So, you know, and like I said, the promise there is on your table. What that is, it says you're going to promise to do those three things. We're not asking for money. You'll get one email, I believe, that says thank you, and it'll invite you, if you like, to sign up for a newsletter. But you'll just get that one email, and that is it. So it's just a promise to learn more, share, and help your community prepare. So if you want to sign that, that's great. If not, at least just, you know, tell some friends a little bit about what you learned today. So I will take any questions now. If there are any. Yes?
I've read that a prevention technique is to take an aspirin a day, and I've also read to take a ibuprofen a day. Do you know anything about that research? I
have not heard anything about that, so I couldn't say either way, so sorry.
It may help if you have vascular dementia. That's where the aspirin could help.
Okay.
I don't think with Alzheimer itself.
Yeah, I haven't heard that at all, so. Yes?
You said something about going in and getting checked up.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that?
Well, there's a series, they'll do cognitive tests, I believe. And are you a doctor, I believe?
Yeah, what you can do is a mini mental.
Wait, come up, Jürgen, come up and help the man.
Sure.
Oh.
Use the microphone.
The test, and I think if you probably didn't get it from your doctor because they didn't suspect it, it's a mini mental test. There are 30 questions. You fill it out, you score it, and then you look for it. Okay. One thing that wasn't really mentioned, which I think helps a lot against Alzheimer, is activity, exercise. We way do too little. And it doesn't make really sense to me if I think about it, but daily exercise, 20-30 minutes over 60-65 makes a significant difference in cognition. So I think that's why the problem is getting more. We just walk and do much less than we used to do. Thank you very much.
Is there a blood test of some sort?
Nope. Nope.
Yes.
Usually you see it. I mean, no.
Jürgen touched on this, and maybe he'll answer this question too, but you said at the beginning, excuse me, 20 to 40%, you said 60 to 80% of dementia is Alzheimer's. What's the other 20 to 40% of dementia?
I know there are 70 forms of dementia. I really can't speak about them that much. I don't know.
Bring back Jürgen!
I think in most other ones is that if you have a brain injury, You have, when you had strokes, that can lead to it. You have small vessel disease with high blood pressure. You have really tiny little mini strokes. And then a lot of, I think you can see it with medications, pseudodementia, you can see it with brain disease. Would have to look it up too.
Step for a minute there, Morgan.
More very medical questions.
Okay, maybe you can tell us how many of those Alzheimer patients actually find their way into nursing homes, because I'm sure not every one of them is in a nursing home. It's only a small percentage.
Yeah, I don't know the actual number, but I do know there's lots of unpaid caregivers, meaning there's lots of people, I couldn't say if it's a majority or not, but I would guess, but don't want to give you the wrong information. But definitely, like I said, 15 million unpaid caregivers. Those are family members, you know, taking care of their spouse or loved one in their home. Yes?
I could just give you a little information for those that haven't had anybody in their family with Alzheimer's. We just buried my mother's second husband yesterday at 90 years old, who I would say 6 months ago started doing such things as forgetting to turn the water off, going outside at night, having the door locked behind him, and things like that. A month ago, we had to get 24-hour care at home for him. Luckily, he had the financial means so he could do that. My sister is a home health care company owner in Minneapolis, and so she, you know, kind of took care of getting the people in and whatever. They did a marvelous job for the last month. The last week of his life was not very nice, you know, but I mean, and whatever. But that worked out. But that's kind of the way it started with him, and he's had type 1 diabetes for probably 50 or 60 years and whatever, and I think he's very lucky to get along for 89 and a half years or 90 years as good as he did. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's what happened.
Is there an average of after the onset of Alzheimer's until the progression of it?
I guess I am not sure of that. So.
It varies.
Yeah.
You can't predict it.
Any other questions?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So the point is to build awareness. Are you building awareness for people to do something?
I mean, eventually, like I said, this is kind of the first step. We really just want to create community awareness of that this is growing. Eventually, I know there's the Alzheimer's Association, and I believe the legislature may be involved eventually, is just going to maybe create a plan, whether it be Alzheimer's Association, to disperse a plan to communities, you know. But as for now, we're just really, I mean, the study came out not too long ago, so we're just really trying to make people aware of Alzheimer's, first of all, learn a little bit, then as the plan kind of comes together, we're going to roll that out. So just to kind of get it in your minds. And, you know, I probably forgot to mention this, which is the whole point. 100,000 people with Alzheimer's, we're trying to get 100,000 of these promises, one for every person with Alzheimer's. So that is the point of this whole promise. Anything else? All right, well, thank you very much for listening.